All right, there we go. All right, we're doing marketing processes tonight. And I am super excited to go through this with you guys. It's kind of going to be like a introduction to developing a marketing process for your marketing mix. We'll explore by the end one particular process that is very popular with real estate professionals for many years, actually, but it still is today. What we're looking for in our marketing processes is finding people that are anxious sellers of their homes, right? That's what we're all looking for. First thing you got to do is determine your target. Today, in recent years, the term avatar has become a spin word when talking about your target market. I gotta change something here. So you want to spend some time building your avatar. What is an avatar? An avatar is a person who needs to sell a house in our industry. You're looking for building an avatar. Number one is a person who needs to sell a house, not someone who wants to sell a house, but someone who must sell a house. And most likely you're looking for somebody who must sell it by a deadline relatively quick. Your avatar has reasons he or she needs to sell the house. Maybe the avatar inherited the house and has other heirs that also are supposed to get a piece of that house. And so they need to sell that house in order to divide up the proceeds of that house. That would be called, in Oregon, we call that a PR, a personal representative for the deceased. Your avatar you might choose is somebody who's going through divorce, who needs to sell the house in order to separate the funds. It might be that your avatar is in financial distress and about to be foreclosed on. We call that pre-foreclosure leads. What other reasons do you guys know of or think of that might be your avatar, who you're looking for, or maybe somebody that you're already marketing towards? Go ahead and unmute if you have one.
Tired landlords.
Tired landlords. Thank you, Adrian. Very good. Yes.
How about someone who is changing jobs to another state?
Moving. Right. So in that case, let's go back to the tired landlord. The tired landlord might have property or properties that tired landlord just has not kept up and knows that it's not, ready to go on the market, or he doesn't want, or she doesn't want their name, associated with the pictures that might come up. But then again, I don't know that landlords care, but I've known a lot of them. But anyways, a tired landlord might want you might be using a tired landlord for creative financing, because a tired landlord might be your avatar in whom you're looking for someone who will do seller financing, right? Going to France, a person who's moving out of state or moving away, if it's a real quick thing, they need to sell fast for some reason. I think in today's market, that might not be a good avatar, because they could list it pretty much, unless I've known plenty of people that just want to get the hell out of Dodge, pardon my French. But yes, the people that want to move, and it's not necessarily because their job is sending them there, but they just want to get out of wherever they're living, and they think there's a brighter future somewhere else, and they want to sell fast. And I definitely have done a few flips with them, and including A Street, where you and Saffron and Kevin just got a great offer on. Those are good. Next, you want to determine location. By location, you might be looking at a certain area of town, a certain zip code, or a certain type of location. I had a text from Mike Louch, who some of us know, who is looking for his next project because his most recent one will be done in 2 weeks. So he needs to, get the next one ready. And I told him I have one coming up in Grand Ronde. Grand Ronde is probably 50 miles away. And he texted back saying that he has a rule of it must be within 30 miles from where he lives. So that there's a location rule. Size. By size, I actually mean two different considerations. It might be the size of the area you're going to market to, how many people you're going to market to, or it might be the size of the house you're willing to take on. For best results in marketing processes, it's best to determine your type of market. So I have up here low, middle, and high-end markets, meaning that, well, sorry, I'm going to go back. Some of you have heard me say that I am in the entry-level market. That's who I market to, is the entry level, pretty much. If I'm going to keep it and flip it myself, I want it to be entry level, meaning that my target market is houses that are perfect when fixed up for a first-time home buyer. And therefore, they're also perfect for a landlord. So they're lower end, first-time buyers markets kind of thing. They qualify for FHA loans for a first-time buyer and that kind of thing. So this is just my target market. However, I know of somebody in our group who likes high-end housing and because he has a lot of experience in high-end housing and in construction and that kind of stuff. So for the most part, I think that the members of Oregon REIA like to flip houses in the middle market area, such as the one on Donald Street that you mentioned, Saffron, a little bit ago, that are great for established families or professionals who have paid off their student debt already, that kind of stuff. And I think that's great. And I would like to be focusing on that market because it's a much more fun rehab to do. It's much more designer-like, but it's just not something I do. Mine is no frills. No frills market is pretty much what mine is. Okay, let's see. And lastly, I have on here niche. And a niche is something that you use to really narrow down your avatar. A niche is actually picking out, really focusing in on your avatar, your person who you're trying to market to. It's not blasting stuff to every house in a zip code. It's not creating a site with every possible SEO. It's not having a generic message in your letters or your phone calls or whatever, and it's not having a generic call to action. I'd also like to add in here, it's not having a generic name. It's not having a generic logo. I've used Grateful Nuts Homes for 11 years, I think, going on 12, because I way back decided my avatar was more of the Eugene hippie avatar. Okay, I just like focused in on the Eugene hippie kind of person and made my logo and my name Grateful Nuts Homes, and there you have it. Now you know why. Dues, you want to choose one, which we just recently talked about: probates, landlords. I call that non-owner occupied, NOO, non-owner occupied leads, pre-foreclosures, and expired listing is a way to go about it. I've tried that too before, but in this hot market, if it's expired, there's something wrong with that person that's listed. And code violations might be another one. There's also like tax liens and that kind of stuff that people do. Okay, choose a niche. When you choose a niche, you get good at it. I'll give you a little story. My in 2020, I guess it was, or maybe 19, I started learning how to market to probates. And then by 20, I took some classes on how to market to probates, and then I took a class on how to work probates and exactly, you know, what to look for in probate cases. So by now I've got a niche and I'm getting good at it, and a lot of attorneys know that I do probates. Soon maybe I'll get great at it. So just by working it might take some time when you work a niche, but you want to get good at it, and then you want to get well known for it. So like I said, number one, you build a system and plug people into that system so you aren't working in the business every day, and then you will become known in your market as the go-to guy or the go-to gal for your niche. If you don't know what a niche, don't know what niche you want to choose, you might start thinking about the type of people that you want to help. You want to work with people who recently inherited a house. I call this a POS house. I know everyone knows what I mean. Do you want to work with people who are behind on their mortgage and facing foreclosures? Do you want to work with people who are landlords and are sick and tired of dealing with tenants and toilets? And like I said earlier, these people might be the ones that understand seller financing as well. Think about the people who you will be serving and helping them with their problems, as opposed to a strategy itself that will help to inform what niche you choose. All right, now I'm going to talk about lead generating systems. After all, this is a processing thing. So you want to choose a lead generation system, whether or not it's a spreadsheet. Well, here, let me go to the next slide. Whether or not it's Google ads, placing ads in Google or Facebook, setting up a website and landing pages with SEO, or creating a system or buying into a system that will send out Ringless voicemail, or hiring somebody to find properties for you, or driving for your own dollars. Basically, there are people you can hire to set up ads and Facebook ads for you. You don't have to be an expert for it, but you do have to be able to watch what they're doing and make sure that they are attracting your potential sellers.
What is BSOW?
I'll get to it. Thanks, Mike. I'll answer it now. It is a bandit sign on wheels. You know what a bandit sign is, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. There are companies that will plug in keywords to amplify your search engine optimization on your website. There are people that will do that for you. There are sites already built that have that kind of stuff figured out and give you ideas of which to put in for your website or landing pages. Going on to Ringless voicemail. There are companies that have systems for you to plug in a spreadsheet that will dial phone numbers. You have to record the outgoing message and it goes out to the whole list at the same time. The receivers of the call don't hear the phone ring, but they see they missed the call. They listen to your message. If you're going to implement Ringless voicemail, then it's imperative that you really do have an avatar in mind, and your list is people that fit that avatar's description, because you want to make sure that you are talking about a motivating reason for them to call you back, and you have to have that dialed in on your list. You can hunt for properties by either hiring someone to look for distressed properties for you, or you can do it yourself by driving for dollars. Again, you want to put their phone number on a list and upload it, then record the message and set up the system to send an RVM, again, Ringless voicemail. Who we had on last week, Kevin Carroll with REI Black Book. I have been with REI Black Book since November of 2020. It's a system that does that for you, but it does take a lot of work to set it up in the beginning. And then after that, it can be pretty much, you know, download and play. Bandit signs on wheels, BSOW. You can get people to advertise for you on the back of their car. Where you, with a "we buy houses" sign and your phone number on it with an extension is the recommendation, because you want to have more than one car. And if you have an extension on it and it comes into a system such as REI Black Book, then you can tell which car, which owner of which car or whatever, who attracted that call, and then you can compensate that driver when the deal closes. I would not recommend compensating somebody before a deal closes, because they could just have their friends call in, you know what I'm saying? And lastly, you have direct mailing, marketing on here, direct mail. For myself, direct mail along with my website are the two processes that I'm currently employing, along with a little bit of REI Black Book for tasks, such as texting a caller when they call in from the direct mail. Then I have a text that automatically goes out to them saying, "Sorry, I missed your call. I'll call you back," and it asks a question. I also do this with my Carrot site. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Carrot, estate investor sites, but it automatically sends out an email after they fill in a web form, basically. So I have web forms and phone calls coming in. Where to find the leads? You can find leads on public domain. You can find leads by purchasing them from a list broker like ListSource or Melissa Data. Melissa Data is pretty huge though. You can get lists from your title company. That's what I do. You can develop a list yourself, such as Driving for Dollars, which I do. You can hire a virtual assistant to put together lists from public domains, which I do. Once you have a good list, this is my favorite part. Once you have a list, you now have an asset. Your business has an asset, and you can continue to market to that asset for months to come. I can't think of any better asset than to have a marketing list that's dialed in. Here's an example of ListSource and the kind of things that you can find. Like I said something about the area, that would be the geography. Mortgage might be like, if you want to choose people that are paid off or over, something like that, or you have had a mortgage for more than 20 years, that kind of thing. You can choose the type of properties, the predictive. These are the same things you can get through a title company too, though, guys. Demographics, I have marketed to people that are 70 years old and older and that have had their house for more than 20 years and this kind of stuff. It didn't work in 2016 or 17, but it might work today. Who knows? Pre-foreclosures and other options. Okay, once you have your list, your asset, how do you work the list? Well, again, you can do direct mail, you can make phone calls, and you can knock on the doors directly. Well, the easiest one to do without any more homework would be to knock on the door and find out where the owner is. But the better things to do would be to find out where the owner actually is and send direct mail to them. So you can do in this area, you can get that kind of information from through your list that you got from the title company, or you can get it by going to RLID, which is regional land, regional lane index. I've forgotten now. Anyways, I use RLID to find out where people are at if I don't already know. And then how do you get their phone numbers? And the phone numbers, I use IDI Core now. IDI Core is for my subscription is $100 a month, and it's really good and it's really fast. I used to use another one that I would recommend I paid $8 a month instead of $100 a month, is Ben Verified. That's spelled BEEN verified and get a subscription to that. I have gone through several, free ones, and I won't do free anymore because it just wastes my time. And you can find free ones out there. Of course, you want to have, if you're doing direct mail, you want to have a direct mail piece. If you can do phone calls, you want to have a phone call script. And if you're going to knock on doors, you want to have a couple questions to ask or something like that, and let them know what you're doing there, knocking on their door. I'm going to go into direct mail. That's because I said I do that a lot. You get your list. You create a mailer. You mail it out. And when an inbound call comes, you need to be able to answer it or get back to them right away. You need to do that, within 24 hours, right, Mike? You want to have a lead sheet, something to write it down. You would need to have a place where you're putting down the information, whether it's I do it on Excel spreadsheets. I used to have, pieces of paper like this lead sheet shows here. There are systems like in REI Black Book where you can fill out a lead sheet and it would connect to a property and that kind of stuff from your call in or what have you. I haven't used it myself. And then of course you want to follow up and make an offer. But the key to this is follow up, follow up, follow up. All right, let's talk about creating your mailer. There's a lot of questions about how to do a mailer. Do you do a postcard or do you do a letter? How big, if it's a postcard, should it be? What color works best? Should I handwrite it or is typing okay? Let's unmute you guys and let's go through these, and I want to hear what y'all think.
We've done both postcards and letters. We haven't really gotten much of a response on them. We got those through driving for dollars and seeing places and reaching out to the owners.
How'd you do it? How'd you get
I used a
postcard?
real stamp, but how did I do what?
Create a postcard. Did you order them from somewhere or
Yeah,
what?
we ordered
Yeah.
some from Vistaprint, I think it was.
Yeah.
So kind of generic ones, the letters. I took my own spin off of what's his name? Tony Young's letters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that he had, I kind of reworded it a little bit to fit more what I wanted to say, but
Right.
Okay.
but those are typed, those are, printed, and then I just fold them into and send them first. All of them go first class mail, not bulk.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I make sure a stamp. I have.
And we do include our phone number and I do include, I haven't included a website, but I have, for email, my email address
Uh-huh.
to reach me.
Speaking of stamps, so here recently the post office ran out of stamps, my local one. So now I'm pretty much just ordering them by the hundreds. I don't know if you can see me, but I'm just ordering them by the hundreds here.
Yeah.
500 at a time kind of thing.
Sure, order them in advance. The post office will deliver them to your house and you don't have to go to that file place.
Yeah, and that's what I haven't go to my box,
Exactly.
Yeah. And then for, because I do probate letters, I do letters to attorneys as well. So I've got all my, my US flag stamps for them, the business kind of envelope. Anybody have a thought on?
In my opinion, people don't look at the stamp. I don't think it really matters. You're using a specific stamp for
Yeah.
businesses. They're having a secretary open it for them and they don't even see the stamp.
Well, yeah, that's at the attorney's office. True.
Yeah.
But you know what? I would much rather pull a stamp off a roll than a sheet. It's much faster. I
Yeah.
can get 3 on my finger at once,
Yeah. Yeah, it's more practical.
Um, let's see, how big was your postcard?
It's 4x6.
4x6. Okay, average size.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll go with a postcard.
I haven't sent too many of my big ones out. I have some big ones, but I haven't sent very many out.
Yeah, the big ones cost, yeah. It's
Looks
just-
like this.
That's it.
Oh, nice. I like that. I tried it with
It
money
just
on it.
says
once
we
too.
can help.
And it does have an email, it does have a Gmail.
Okay, great.
It has a little bit of room to write a personal message too.
On the front side.
On the back.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. I'm gonna get mine. So I didn't do anything on the back side of this one. This is 8.5 by 6. Let's see if you can see that.
Oh, that's big.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's huge, yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Oh,
it's
that's nice.
tiny, and
Yeah.
and that's for my driving for dollars ones. But
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm not really sending it out, because it is cheaper, and I do have a lot of postcards. But you can see, I mean, stamps for postcards. It's cheaper to mail
Yeah.
postcards.
That's a bigger, that one would have to go first class, Grace. There's a size limit on postcards.
Well, figures you wouldn't know, Kevin.
Mr. Shipping.
30 years into shipping
I messed
business,
that
I
one
know
up,
shit.
didn't I? Okay. Order some more postcards. Colors that work best, I think it depends on your avatar, don't you guys think? If you're, if like my attorneys, if that's my avatar for the probates, then, I'm sending a legal looking letter kind of thing with a case number on it. It's definitely typed. If it's for somebody bereaving, then I'm thinking about some colors actually for that case. Ink on your card, as long as if I'm signing it, I'm using blue ink. Otherwise, black is fine in my opinion. What do you guys think?
I don't think it matters, but
Yeah.
there's probably all kinds of studies that tell you that it does.
Right? You're
I used to
including
be
your,
really into the psychology of advertising, but I gave that up years ago.
oh yeah, me too. I was really into it too. Now it's like avoiding it. No. This is interesting. Do I lick the envelope? I mean, do I seal it closed or just tuck it in the flap? I've done both. Another thing I've tried is swiping a little bit of perfume on the envelope. Mike likes that one.
Did you get more responses?
No.
But there's a study out there somewhere that says you will.
I actually, when I did do the perfume on it, I got more hate phone calls.
Oh, that's
From-
not good.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that I think about it.
I put a joint into each one, and when they call, they're in a real good mood.
Oh, Mike, I love it. That's a great one.
We're a little hungry. We're a little hungry.
I'm a little
You gotta bring
hungry.
them a bag of chips when you talk to them about the negotiations.
All right, let me move on here. A reason for just tucking in the flap rather than licking it is they're more likely to open it. That's the idea behind that.
We get a lot of, we have an Airbnb and we get a lot of mail from people and companies trying to buy it from us or manage it for us.
Oh yeah.
And often they come in an envelope that really, really looks like a personal letter. But then you open it and it's just the same old shtick. But I do open them because I'm more curious if it looks like a personal letter. Who is this from? Because it could be one of my relatives. You never know.
Yeah,
I have a
right.
lot of them.
Long lost relative. You
Yeah.
never know, or friend of a relative.
Well, they're not
This is-
lost, but there's a
This
lot of
is
them.
I'm showing a postcard right now that this is our third one we've received from this Jessie. It's a really thin postcard. I don't know what I did with it. Oh, here it is. Yeah, it's just a very thin little postcard. Looks like this. You can see it's been commercially stamped. I'm sure
Yeah.
it's done by some real estate investor business, card sending firm, company like
Right.
that. You can see on here, there's not much put into it. It's not personal. It's a spray and pray kind of thing. They have no idea. I'm sure that our house is worth almost $700,000 and they're thinking it might be a flipper, you know.
Right.
There's no thought put into it. And one of the things I like about it, so it's supposed to look like it has been handwritten, but you'll notice, like I noticed right off, that every Y is exactly the same. And I've used this kind of software before to try to do that. Notice this one's different though, but otherwise all in this message, every letter that you see is the same as the previous one, where you create your own hand writing fonts, basically. Now I'm going to show you one that's really impressive. Here's a new business out there that's doing something really makes it easy for you. And maybe some of you have come across this. This postcard that is working for investors across the country per REI Black Book is consistently getting a solid response of 1.5 to 2% response rate. But there's a company that you can just download your Excel spreadsheet to or upload it, and it will grab images off of Google and put it into the postcard and send it out for you. And that's pretty cool, I think. Most investors across the country aren't doing this. So if you were to be an early adopter, it would be a great chance to do that. You'd immediately stick out, which increases your response rates. Another reason this postcard works so well is because it's asking a question right up front here in the headline. Is this your property? So it makes you look, yeah, that's my property.
That wouldn't work at 8th Street.
What's that?
I said that wouldn't work at 8th Street. That house better be a lot smaller.
Yeah, but imagine if that's how Darren received heard about me.
Yeah.
He found me on the website. But if he received a card from me from Driving for Dollars, and it's a shitty looking house, right? And then you would definitely want to build your postcard for that.
Right.
Now, so I already let the cat out of the bag that it's done through a company that will put the image on there for you. You don't even have to spend time doing it, and it's called REI Print Mail. So you guys can check that out if you're interested.
Yeah, maybe, sure.
Another thing about direct mail is you don't just send it once and expect to get some sort of response. You should plan to send your direct mail at least 3 to 5 times to the same prospect. You will rarely receive a call, text, or a letter back from your first mailing. And if you do, it will be a do not disturb kind of message that can be frankly quite rude or polite, one or the other.
Forgot that.
That's after the first time. The second and third time, you're going to actually, maybe provide more content, that kind of stuff in your mail piece, and you're going to have a better response. In sales, since I've been doing sales for many years, the rule has been the 5-time rule. You need to contact the person 5 times, has been the standard for decades. But now with our information age and the constant interruption that humans get, the rule is now 8 times. It takes 8 times instead of just 5. And you might do this by sending 8 letters, or you might do it by adding phone calls in there and text messages or what have you like that. So basically the idea is it used to be 5 touches. Now it's actually 8 interruptions that you're doing. All right, so now you got a prospect. Now what? You follow up, call them, text them, email them, find out why they need to sell. find out how soon they need to sell and qualify them as a good prospect. You want to make sure that they need to sell, not that they want to sell. Last month, I gave a homework assignment to think about your marketing budget. I'm going to turn off the recording now so we can talk about budget, and then I'm going to send you, I'm also going to show you a letter that I'm currently sending out to acquire some multifamily properties through Greg and my other business called GG Investment Properties. So let me see where I can turn this off. Oh, there we go. And stop record. Actually, let's stop record that I wanted.